Could it be the sun? Good morning, everybody. Day number 4 in the wet jungle. Making our way towards Waynesboro, Virginia. There are not a lot of options in this stretch of trail for hostels. There is one hostel up the road, 20 couple miles. Devil's Backbone Brewery is up the road a little ways, which historically has a great reputation for being hiker friendly. And we need to call and verify to see if they're even open to hikers yet. Some of the comments in the Gut Hook app says recently that they're not running a shuttle and they're not allowing hikers inside, which is fine. I understand that. I respect that. A lot of folks are still a little shy about practices, after the virus coming through. Plans for the day. Today's going to be 100% freestyle. Still can't believe the sun is peeking out right now because we are supposed to get rain all day today. Today is Friday, June something. It's great not to know the date. I think it's the 19th, actually. We're supposed to have rain every day, all day, continuing through Sunday of this weekend, with a little bit of hope of things beginning to clear up on Monday. So, I mean, you can see right now what the trail looks like. This is the trail right here. And there's been some hikers who have simply bailed, paid good money for shuttles to come get them, pull them off trail. And they're probably the smart ones because not only myself, but the folks I'm traveling with at the moment, everyone's feet is getting torn to pieces because of the prolonged exposure to just the soaking wet, walking through puddles all day. Been trying to stop, get them aired out, but yesterday I was unable to make it about 15 miles until they just started to burn and hurt, and probably took about 3 hours last evening for them to dry out before I put on my dry camp socks. So on trail, pushing north, headed towards the Priest Shelter. And I'll tell you more about that here in a little while. It's about 6.6 miles out. It's going to be my final 4,000 foot ascent before we get up north. I'm not certain where I'm going to end up at the end of the day. Just doing like I always do, just freestyling. Trying to embrace everything that comes at me. It's beautiful out here, but I know there's more rain on the way, and we'll see where we end up. Pushing north, let's do it. The Priest Shelter, mile 829.7. Probably the most read shelter log on the entire AT resides at the Priest. It has been a long time tradition that when hikers show up here, they record a trail confession in the shelter log. And just don't forget, what happens or what is said or confessed at the Priest stays at the Priest. Heading north out of the Priest Shelter area. Had first lunch there. Took some time to read through the shelter log, the confessional, if you will. And what is confessed at the Priest stays at the Priest. However, I think it's okay to share probably the most common confession that I had seen was the fact that people are not digging cat holes. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with cat holes, when you don't have access to a privy to do your business, you're supposed to step 200 feet off trail, dig a hole to do your business that is supposed to be at least 6 inches deep, and you are supposed to appropriately cover your business so it can properly, decompose and be welcomed back into nature. So that was probably the most common confession, is of people not taking care of their cat holes appropriately. Definitely some interesting things to read in there. And did I make my own confession? Well, we all fall short, including myself. So I had a thing or two to confess myself as far as trail confessions. And if you want to know what they are, you're going to have to hike out here and find out yourself, because I'm not sharing those secrets. Something else that I wanted to mention, I guess number one, the weather hasn't been bad today. It hasn't rained on us one time. We've been walking through some clouds, and of course that's almost like a real fine mist, and everything is wet. I've been able to protect my sleep clothes. My down bag is starting to get damp simply because, last night I slept in a shelter and we're sleeping in a cloud, basically, or the fog. So it does draw moisture. Now, as far as my feet are concerned, one thing I do want to mention, and I had this item in my gear explosion video, and that's waterproof socks. So some of you may be wondering why I'm not wearing my waterproof socks to keep my feet dry. And the answer to that question is, even though we've been up at elevation a couple times, temperatures dropping into the 60s, and then overnight, the one night, 40-some degrees. I'm a hot hiker, and what I've discovered personally with my waterproof socks is, if it's above 40 degrees and I have a liner sock in there, and the reason I wear liner socks is to prevent friction and causing blisters. With my waterproof socks, my feet sweat, so they get just as wet as if I would be walking, through the mess, through the puddles, through the rain. So that's why I'm not using my waterproof socks. In fact, that is one of the items I was going to send home until I got up in the upper New England area at the end of summer, when some of those nights get really cold. I was thinking about wearing them when I get up to Vermont or in that area, but the waterproof socks are really not working for me right now. And last evening, just trying to air out my feet, and I also washed my socks out to get all the mud and any bacteria that may be growing in there around my feet. So I do carry some Dr. Bronner's soap with me, the unscented version. And of course I ended up putting wet socks back on. There's no way they were going to dry, but at least I washed them out good to kind of give my feet a little bit of protection, not swimming in any bacteria that may cause trench foot or contribute to athlete's foot. So it is a battle, no big deal. As always, it is what it is. Today has been a great day with no rain, but now that I said that, my next clip is going to be a downpour. What's that?
The sun is out!
I love it!
Woo!
It's about time. Too many times I've walked past spots like this and didn't take full advantage of Mother Nature. Time to kick back a little bit. Got myself a spot here to let my feet air out, some gear. air out with all the rain we've had for days. And I'm just gonna take it easy for maybe a half hour or an hour. The sun's been peeking out from time to time. Give a chance to dry things off a little bit. Making my ascent up to Three Ridges Peak. This is the kind of terrain I've been dealing with. It's been a lot of fun so far. Taking a little time to pick through this, but I hope I can get through this before dark. After a few days of bad weather, it's really nice to be able to share a view with everyone. This is a view from mile 838.8. This is on my ascent to Three Ridges Peak, which is approximately 3,800 feet. Blessed with another amazing view, mile 841.5, Hanging Rock Overlook. Spectacular overview. And over here to my right we have, what are your names? Mark
and Marianne.
Mark and Marianne. They're dreaming of hiking the AT one day, and they actually have their hammock set up right over here. So they win the camp spot of the day, that's for sure. Okay everyone, trying to use a little headlight here to give a little light here for my closing. Made it to the Maupin Field Shelter area. It's going to give us 20.4 miles for the day. Turned out to be an absolutely a beautiful day. And ended up with a light drizzle for about maybe an hour or so, and had a chance to go up to the Priest. That was our final 4,000 footer until we get up into, I think, New Hampshire. I'm pretty sure about that. And then we backed that up with another 3,800 foot climb up to Three Ridges Peak. And oh my goodness, boy, that really threw it to me at the end of the day. I wasn't expecting that. So ended up with a couple real nice views here today. It's pretty much getting dark here right now, so I got to get camp set up, get something to eat, and get ready to get up and do it again tomorrow. Thanks for watching Wild on the Trail, everybody. Take care. Good night.